Roger, 1202, we copy it. Around the world. Roger, 1202, we copy it.
When they go through withdrawal, as they pray in something called praying in tongues, which is a new prayer language that the Lord gives them.
And I think if more people were to come out overnight, we would remove the stigma from homosexuality.
My best friends were books. My best friends were the radio. And it's the combination is, I guess, what we're creating here now.
Oh, I'm not a psychopath or a maniac or anything.
Britain doesn't have diplomatic relations with aliens from outer space. But next November, one man and his 50,000-strong organization will take the first steps to foster links between Britain and extraterrestrials. This man is called Rael, and as head of the Raelian organization, he claims to be the aliens' ambassador on Earth. His avowed aim is to set up the world's first embassy for aliens. Now, Rael, how did this come about?
I was journalist in 1973 in Clermont-Ferrand, a city in the center of France. And I was going to my office like every morning. It was about 9 in the morning. I took my car to go to my office, but suddenly, instead to turn right, I turned left. And I drove 10 kilometers until a volcano, name is a Puy de la Sola. And I stopped my car and I walked by foot until the center of the volcano. And inside the center of the volcano, I was wondering, why am I there? I have a lot of work to do in my office, like every journalist. And suddenly, I was looking at the sky and I saw a flashing light, very strong flashing light, like a camera flashing light. And slowly, something like a flattened bell made of silver metal was going down and stopped maybe 30 meters from me. I was very happy to see that because I thought it will disappear very fast. But it didn't disappear. Slowly, a trap with something like a stair was opened, and a little man, maybe 1 meter, 20 centimeters, came outside.
Now, what they told you, in fact, to do at that stage was to build an embassy for extraterrestrials. Now, in order to give a clearer idea of what this thing might look like, Rael is going to help us to build this embassy before the end of the show. So whoever our builders are over there, they're going to start building it at the moment. And this is the easy task for Rael, because the hardest part is convincing people that this is a legitimate embassy. If you take, for instance, that although besides the 50,000 people that in fact support the movement, this man over here and many others like him, who's a hardened UFO investigator, his name is Mike Wotton, thinks that this guy over here is full of it, basically. Now, Mike, what do you think is wrong with this guy's claims?
Well, I think what he actually claims about being abducted, etc., is interesting. But the religious content, I don't find very interesting at all.
Well, we're going to give you a chance to be convinced by this man before the end of the show. So we'll be finding out a little later on how Rael gets on and convincing the first people in Britain on the show how they get on. And we'll be finding out what that embassy will look like.
This kind of music can provide a platform for the communication of evil ideas. They're playing with satanic power and they're trying to impart it into other people's lives.
It is a devil's mix in as much as the same message we've been peddling for a long time is now coming in a much neater package, really.
Dream on, dream on, dream on.
Bass frequencies, the one which hits you at about 4 a second, that's really ideal. That sets the brain up. If it's loud enough, it affects the secretions of the hormones in the body from the spine, mainly to do with sex, to be honest. And that gives it sort of an addictive edge.
When you hear it in the club or in a disco, it makes you react in a certain way, sends you into a sort of trance.
Backward masking is the process of recording something and then playing it backwards. Look out, and then you must sing it all. Look out. Now if I play that the right way round, nothing is true, which is a message I have quite a vested interest in.
Hello, how are you? Fine, fine, 'cause I know that the Lord is coming soon.
So the person doesn't really know what he's listening to, he simply feels the effect. The ceremony of blessing.
Dream on, dream on, dream on.
The high that I get from the music does definitely come from the dark forces in the music.
They're playing with satanic power and they're trying to impart it into other people's lives. They're very sick people in a sense because they're helping to destroy other people.
The police say he was a teenager fascinated with satanic rituals. They say he fought with his mother, then stabbed her, set his living room on fire, and slit his own throat.
On the boy's body, they found a suicide note and a cassette of the heavy metal musician Ozzy Osbourne, Tribute. And on that cassette, one of the songs is Suicide Solution.
I'm sure that if these people wanted to commit suicide, they wouldn't just commit suicide because they've been listening to a lot of records.
Does this music kill? This is the Judas Priest album, Stained Class. The band are being sued for millions of dollars in America because it's claimed that the track you're listening to now made two teenagers commit a suicide pact. This is the track Better By You, Better By Me, and lawyers say that it contains a blasphemous and obscene, subliminal, hidden message that made these teenagers go out and try and commit suicide. Now, we've had a listen to it. We're not sure whether we can find out anything at all in here, but we're giving you the chance to hear it because we want you to phone in and tell us if you can hear anything. Do you feel uneasy? Is there anything about this track that makes you feel uncomfortable? Phone in and tell us. We've got a whole lot of people here ready to take the calls here, and they're probably coming in already. And we'll be back at the end of the programme to find out whether there really is a story in this at all.
Guess you have to tell her how I tried to speak the thoughts of hell so inside. Tell her now I've got to go out in the streets and down the shore. Tell her the world's not much for living for. It's better by you, better than me.
made a clean kill, particularly if the toad is actually facing towards the vehicle, because the air that's inside the toad is trapped within the head and blown out towards the back end, and the toad really goes off with a bang like a balloon going off.
You can hear now a noise probably in the background, which is a toad, which is probably mating. And that's what I like about it.
The government is planning to deregulate television, which means as well as the existing 4 channels, the airwaves will be open to all sorts of cable and satellite operations. So what does that mean? Existing broadcasters aren't happy. They think it'll mean a lowering of standards and the airwaves being open to all sorts of tacky shows like the ones they already have on Italian television, where housewives strip live on telly. Also, on the streets of New York, Ugly George walks around and tries to persuade women to take their clothes off.
So as Network 7 brings you tomorrow's TV today, we thought we'd anticipate that moment of deregulation and try and find out what TV really would be like in a deregulated world. But the big question is, do the British public really want to see nudity on their screens? And even if they do, would people be prepared to take their clothes off live on television? We're in Camden Market now, and we're going to find out if anyone will take their clothes off live on TV. So that we're live on Network 7. I'm just going to ask you a question. Would you be prepared to take your clothes off live on television?
Well, all these people I've got up here are all people that have been duped by the Drifters and other groups. Now, it really is getting to be a bit of a European phenomenon. Now, I gather that you two went to see the Drifters. You paid £15 a head. Now, did you feel cheated at all?
Definitely cheated,
Definitely, yes. When we saw 4 35-year-old guys come on, we knew something was wrong.
And what did you get for your money, though? Anything else?
Just a cheap bottle of plonk. By the time they came on, you're half cut anyway.
So did that help numb it?
Definitely, yes.
Now, you actually met the Drifters in a private bar, didn't you?
Yeah.
What were they like?
Well, we met one of them and his wife and his kid, and they were just bragging all the time.
They were bragging about how good they were,
Yeah.
were they? But did you know that they weren't the real thing?
They did. He
Or-
was
or-
too young to be the real thing.
Right.
It was.
Now, you've seen the Supremes, haven't you, down in Spain?
Yeah, I want to pay £35
35?
to just go and see the Supremes and have a meal and whatever. It wasn't very good.
And now, John over there, you used to work as a holiday rep. Now, why is all this happening? Why are so many people getting stung?
Well, it's big business with all the club owners and the venue owners and casino owners. They want to attract people to the venue, so the only way they can do it nowadays is by using a big name like the Drifters, the Supremes.
Now, has anybody else here seen the Drifters or any other people? What about you? And what happened?
Well, we went to see them at an organised barbecue, and so I went with my mother, who's quite a big Drifters fan, and she still won't have it now. That wasn't the Drifters that we saw, although they did look very good for their age.
Right. Well, the problem actually seems to be that a lot of these pop stars, they get into their twilight years and you can't really recognise them. I mean, think about Bros at 40. Would you be able to recognise them at the checkout at Tesco's? You probably wouldn't. So we decided to put the age syndrome to the test. Now, up here, we've got Mungo Jerry. Now, Mungo Jerry were actually the Bros of the 70s. Now, if you'd like to come on down, gents, there is one Mungo Jerry here, and the rest are all heavily disguised. Now, we want our Drifters fans to see if they can actually spot the real Mungo Jerry. So if you'd like to line up, gents. Now, the music you're hearing is In the Summertime, which was one of Mungo's 2 #1 hits from the 70s. Now, you take a good look at these Mungos here. Now, if you want to move forward, come down, have a look, inspect the goods, and see if you can spot the real Mungo. Now, if you move forward, come on, Mungos, come forward, Mungos. Give us a few bars of In the Summertime.
In the summertime, when the weather is high, you can just ride up and touch the sky. In the summertime.
What do you think? No, you're not convinced? No? Well, come down if you want to make your decision. If you spotted the real Mungo, come down and stand behind the real Mungo. How about you? Let's hear a few bars.
In the summertime.
I think we might have him here, no?
Yes. No.
Right, can you all line up behind the Mungo of your choice, quickly? Line up behind the Mungo of your choice. Behind the Mungo of your choice. Behind the Mungos, move forward. Come on, Mungos. Well, let's have a look now. Is there a show of strength? Anyone can see the most Mungos? I think it's here. I think this is Mungo. Are you Mungo?
I am Mungo.
No, you're not. Are you Mungo? Are you sure you're not?
No.
He's not. Right, who is the real Mungo Jerry? Will the real Mungo Jerry step forward now? Mungo? Well, it just goes to show. Right. It really is very difficult.
Network 7's whirlwind tour of the East continues. This week we've come to Hong Kong. This is the walled city in Hong Kong. It's the world's most densely populated area. 36,000 people live in an area 150 yards square.
Well, this is where we live. 4 of us sleep here, and we eat here. So we have all our meetings as well. Over here is the kitchen, and the bathrooms. The bathroom here, the shower and the loo. And so we do all our cooking. I'd never felt uneasy about going into people's homes before, and I walked into one and I just wanted to cry because one of our brothers knew one of the other brothers there, and he was an addict and he was really, really thin. And there'd been such neglect to the mother that she had gone mad, and she was filthy and dirty and smelly, just lying in bed, and she hadn't been fed at all. And then he had a little daughter as well. We probably think she was being abused as well. So we're just trying to help practically in that situation at the moment. But it really hit me, it really woke me up to the fact that we weren't just playing here. There were real problems to be dealt with and sorted out. The only thing that we have to offer them is Jesus. And within about 5 minutes, they'll have accepted Jesus and say, yes, I believe. And there and then, they're filled with the Holy Spirit and the power of the Holy Spirit. And as when they go through withdrawal, as they pray in something called praying in tongues, which is a new prayer language that the Lord gives them. As they pray in tongues, so they get freed from heroin, but it's really just because they're praying, and it's the power of God that sets them free. It wasn't until I saw it working for myself that I thought, this is a God who really wants to heal today, you know? And it's incredible that when you actually see it for yourself, it works, and it's just God's grace and God's power setting them free.
Hello, I'm Sam Rubin. There are probably a lot of places you would expect to find film superstar Sylvester Stallone, but prison isn't one of them. However, you will be able to see Sly in the Slammer in his next film called Gangster. Stallone plays a member of the mafia who's sent behind bars after refusing to squeal to police about the activities of his mob family. Look for Gangster to arrive in theaters late next year. Former Dallas star Priscilla Presley is fighting back. Presley and her daughter, Lisa Marie, are the subject of many shocking revelations in a book by Priscilla's former boyfriend, Michael Edwards. Look for rebuttals to many of Edwards' claims when Priscilla and the newly married Lisa Marie are profiled in an upcoming issue of Life magazine later this fall. And big star Tom Hanks is probably the hottest actor in town, what with the added success of his new film Punchline. But for his next project, Hanks is going to share billing with a real dog. The film is a new comedy called Turner and Hooch. Hanks will play a policeman partnered with this special mutt. Henry Winkler, who directed the current film Memories of Me, will be behind the camera directing Hanks on Turner and Hooch. We'll have more news next time, but for now, that's the word from Hollywood, just between us.
Cat, right, you've got to read.
Stop in front.
30 seconds, remember now?
Yeah. We really are live.
Yeah, we're ready.
We live in a world that says that everything that is homosexual is second-rate, is substandard.
How did he kill himself?
お兄さん、どういうふうに自殺なさったの？
We really are live at London's Camden Market, trying to find out some of the things that deregulated television might throw up. Already in Italy and America, they have tacky shows. In New York, Ugly George walks the streets trying to find women to persuade them to take their clothes off live on television. But is this the kind of thing you'd like to watch? Lisa's trying to find people to see if they're willing to take their clothes off live on television.
I don't think so, no, not really.
Would you be prepared to take your clothes off?
No, certainly not.
Why not? Would you be offended by it?
First realised that I was gay as soon as I knew what the word lesbian meant. I mean, I knew that I was different.
I realised I was gay when I was about 12.
It's very difficult to come out at school. I think that there's enough confusion in adolescence anyway, growing up and so on. And I can't see that it would have been very well received if I'd been an out-and-out lesbian. So it actually made me feel very, very isolated.
Basically, because I was different from everybody else in the way I dressed and looked. Most ways really, so I was quite an easy target. So I had to learn how to fight, and I got into quite a few fights.
When I was about 15, and there was increasing pressure on me at school about my sexuality, I met this really nice guy who was just due to go into the RAF. And he wanted to go out with me, and it seemed like a really good idea because I'd rarely have to see him. And I just made sure that when he did come home on leave, we'd go out in the town just enough to be seen by the right people, so it would be a known fact that I was going out with a bloke.
Well, I thought about telling my parents when I was about 14, and but a friend, we both decided together to tell them, and his parents went mad, so I didn't tell mine.
Every chance I take takes more and more. Things get lost or break without a more. The ship is lost and tied because I know you lied.
I telephoned my parents to tell them I was gay because I was just too scared to actually be in the house with them. I thought I'd just hit the roof and I'd, be dragged off to hospital after I finished telling them. It was a lot easier by phone for me, me personally. So I had a chance to explain what I actually wanted to say.
And so I'll wait until the ship is lost and tied because I know you lied. The way is so unclear. The
It was just sort of like, as if it was just, you know, what time is it, Mum? I just told her on the stairs. Because I was just building up to it. And I thought, if I don't tell her now, I won't ever tell her.
It takes time, but you get used to it. If you've got a love for your child, then it's easy to accept because they're still your child.
I think you should make absolutely sure that you don't hurl it at them as almost an insult. Try not to let it come out in a row.
3 years ago, my parents were over for a trip, and my mother went to the toilet in a restaurant, and I was left alone with my father at the dinner table, and this had never happened for years, and I suddenly thought, oh my God, what's going to happen? And he said, you know, Paul, my mother and I have never stopped hoping, but someday you might find the right woman and settle down with her and be very happy. And I thought, oh, he still hasn't learned. But the thing is, you see, some people will never learn because it's outside of their frame of reference entirely, and you have to be prepared for some people and some parents not to relate.
We mustn't forget that parents need a great deal of support in accepting their child for what he or she is, and that's sadly because of society's intolerance regarding other people's sexuality.
Takes more and more. Things get lost or break without a more. The ship is lost and tied because I know you lied. The way it's so unclear.
The most important thing to remember about coming out is that the first and foremost person you come out to is yourself. And I think you have to take however long to decide whether you're gay or lesbian as you need, and become comfortable with that in yourself.
I'm a lot more confident now. I know what I want, and there's no deception, and people either accept me for as a gay man or they don't. And it really is as simple as that. I'm a lot happier. Now I've got my own life, and I live it how I want to.
I rode up and down, from truth to doubt, and now that you're far gone, I cast about. The ship is lost.
Lisa Harwood comes from Paignton in Devon. Just under a year ago, she moved to London. With her here today are two old friends from Devon, Sonia and Pam, and her nephew, Robert, who's also just moved up to London. Sonia, how well do you know Lisa?
I've known her for about 2.5 years, something like that.
You think you know her quite well?
Didn't we? Yeah. Reasonably
Good friend?
well, yeah, good friend.
Great, and Pam?
Let's say, two and a bit years.
And you count her as a good friend?
Yeah.
Now, Robert, even though Lisa is actually your auntie, she's only 2 years older than you.
Yes.
So would you count yourself more as a friend or as a relation?
Well, more as a friend, because we grew up together.
Right, fine. Now, even though these three people know Lisa very well, there's one quite major thing they don't know about her. Lisa?
I'm a lesbian.
Sonia, how do you react to that?
You're not going to believe it, I am.
None of you knew? That's amazing. Pam?
Oh my God.
Pam, how do you react?
I knew Sonia was, but I didn't know Lisa was.
Are you shocked?
Well, knowing one already doesn't shock me at all.
Great. Now, Robert, are you shocked? Your auntie is gay.
I don't know. I'm not a lesbian. No. It's up to her, isn't it? If that's what she wants, then.
Fine. So it won't affect your relationship to her at all?
Well, no. It's still family and friends, and I don't see how it can affect.
Is that okay? Now, you two have just revealed to each other for the first time that you're both gay and neither of you ever knew. How do you feel?
I was shocked.
Really
I had to tell her this story. You know, I came up to London, I said, I'm doing a discussion on people moving to London, and she didn't like London, she lived in London, and I said, you'd be really good for the programme. And so, you know, I told her all these lies about it.
Right. Well, over here we have three other sets of friends who've also come down here today to talk about friendships and relationships. Now, what do you think about the revelations that have gone on over here, Jason?
Never actually heard what they said.
They said Lisa's just come out as gay to her friends for the first time. Do you know any friends of yours who are gay?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, in Dundee.
How do you feel about gay people?
Doesn't bother me really.
It's just fine with you. And Darren, have you ever met any other gay people?
Yeah, a few that I know. Well, yeah.
How would you react if one of your friends was gay?
one of my really close friends that I was hanging about with, I'd just be very, very shocked.
Would you accept it?
I suppose I'd have to, wouldn't I?
Yeah. No, Susanna, have you got something to tell Darren and Jason?
Yeah, Darren, Jason, I'm gay.
You're laughing, yeah?
Darren, how do you react?
I'm really shocked, I can tell you that much.
Is it going to affect your relationship with Susanna at all?
Not really, no. I'm just shocked.
Jason, what about you? You surprised?
I'm surprised to see a black lesbian. All I know are white ones. I didn't actually think there were actually black lesbians about.
Right, fine. Susanna, what do you think of the reactions of your friends?
Better than I expected. I thought Darren would get really, really mad at me.
But you think he's going to come to terms with it?
I think he might not talk to me for a while after.
Right, OK. Well, Paul, have you got something to tell your two friends, Donna and Tony?
Yeah, I'm gay as well.
Did you ever think Paul might be gay? Donna?
Well, I had a suspicion. His friend died a bit ago, and I thought they were close, but, you know, they must have been closer than I thought.
OK, Tony?
It's a bit, you know, a bit funny, but I didn't know, actually.
So you're all right about it?
Well, he's a girlfriend's friend, really. I mean, I know him a lot.
Is it going to alter your friendship to Paul at all?
Nah, I don't know, nah.
OK, great. Now, Richard, with you are two work colleagues, Alicia and Christian. You got something to tell them?
Yeah, I'm gay too.
Really?
Yeah,
Christian, what's your reaction?
Well, it's funny, we've just been talking about it, actually. It's not going to affect the way I think to Richard at all.
Yeah, but you did say a minute ago that...
Yeah, and it does. I have to, when I have a friend who's gay, and I have to admit that up until I got to know him better than, you know, sort of normal, I mean, it does make me feel a little bit nervous. But sitting next to Richard now, it's not going to make me any...
OK, so reaction's quite good on the whole. 4 people have just come out for the first time on Network 7 to friends and work colleagues that never knew before that they were gay. Still looking a bit stunned.
Couch potato. Too much TV. Couch potato.
Avoid this dreaded disease. Be choosy on what you watch. Leave me alone. Just let me groove with my tube. Don't just plop in front of the TV because you got nothing else to do. Gotta have that. Mama, can I buy that? Watch out for overeating. Don't be a
Couch potato. Couch potato. Not me.
Thank you. We're live in London's Camden Market, trying to find out if Britain is ready for deregulated TV. Do you really want the kind of shows like they have on Italian cable, where housewives and ordinary members of the public are prepared to strip off for the cameras? And even if you were prepared for those kind of shows, would you strip off live on TV? Well, I've spent the last half an hour searching around trying to find people who would take their clothes off. And surprisingly enough, all these people with me said no, they wouldn't take their clothes off. Now, why not?
I haven't got the right boxer shorts on, really. If I had the right boxer shorts on, I might do it.
Would you find it entertaining to see someone strip off live on TV?
Oh, yeah, sure.
You would?
Yeah.
You'd like to see that?
Yeah, I'd like to see it, but I wouldn't do it myself.
And what about you? You wouldn't take your clothes off, why not?
No. My mum might be watching.
Does it worry you who'd see you with it?
Yeah, I wouldn't want my friends to see me or people I didn't know.
Would you find it entertaining?
To watch other people?
Yeah.
Depends who they were, really.
I've been luckier. These people over here said they would take their clothes off. Why on earth do you want to do that?
Why not? I don't see why people are so ashamed of bodies. I mean, everybody's got one, so I don't see what the fuss is about.
And you'd be prepared to sit at home and watch, well, not watch you, watch somebody else do this.
Oh, absolutely.
And this would be entertaining TV for you, would it?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's very important that we should, in the light of Clause 28, you know, that we should get away from any idea of censorship. Naked bodies are a fact of life.
OK, so we've managed to overcome some of the Great British Reserve. But is this the kind of programme you really want to watch on television? We've opened the phone lines so you can decide. Phone now to vote yes or no. And we'll be back a little later to see what you've decided. You're absolutely sure about this? You realise what you've got to go through with?
Positive, I know, but that's all right. I'm quite happy to do that.
You are?
Yeah.
And you think, how many hours
Fact is often stranger than fiction. Watch now and decide for yourself if this tale is true or false.
Come on, boy. Now, this is Gus. Gus is a checker, bred from 2 prize-winning birds. I bought Gus about 8 months ago in Belgium. We called him Gus because that was the name of the first bird I ever owned. And we hope that in 2 years' time, Gus will win the Barcelona Blue Ribbon, which is the most prestigious racing prize there is. And of course, if Gus does win it, then I'll take some of the credit, but most of it belongs to Uncle George. Uncle George was something of a celebrity in Leytonstone when I was a kid. Everybody had a loft at the end of the garden then, but George's was the biggest and his pigeons the fastest.
All right.
It was good news about Darky though, wasn't it?
Oh, yes. Well,
Pleased to hear about that.
Yes.
Well done. Where's Gus? Here's my boy.
There he is.
Oh, I tell you what, he feels hard, doesn't he? He's
Oh,
nice
yes.
and springy.
Oh, yes.
I can remember when George turned up on my 12th birthday and he had a basket for me. And I knew immediately what was in there because he had a young pigeon for me that he'd bred from 2 of his own champions. And that was it. From then on, I was totally hooked. He's good. Let's have a look at his wing. He just coached me and taught me what to do with them all. And that's it. I was obsessed with pigeons until I got obsessed with other things like comics for a while and then, of course, girls, and kind of fell by the wayside. To be honest, I think it's worth us putting him in a Guernsey, don't you?
Yeah, we put him in the Guernsey. You know how it is when you reach the age of 16. You meet your girlfriends, you know, and the birds. Not the feather kind this time. It was the others who wore the crinoline dresses and the short ones and so on. And, of course, he went out of the sport.
Well, then I met Uncle George again a couple of years ago at a family wedding. I hadn't seen him for ages, and it was really nice talking about all the old times, and I found out he still had all his birds. But he was, one great regret he had was he'd never, ever been able to race one at the Barcelona race, which I always thought was a shame, because that was his big ambition.
He said, what about, he asked me about the Barcelona race. And he said, well, did you send to the bar? I said, no. I said, the bird wasn't all that brilliant, wasn't in the condition I'd like to send him. Plus the fact is that it was pretty expensive at the time.
You need special birds, obviously, but you need to have special training, and you need just to spend a lot of money on them in advance. Look at his quill, George. So I thought, why not make it possible? So without telling George, I phoned the guy who runs the club that he belongs to.
I had this telephone call from a chap who said he was a relative of George, and he would like to come and see me with seeking advice on buying some special pigeons. So I invited him round. I remember the day when he came, Alison answered the door.
Hello, is your dad in, please?
She came running in as though she'd seen a ghost. And then I realised it was Jonathan Ross. He came in and I showed him the loft and had a look at the pigeons, and he wanted to know then where he could buy the best long-distance pigeons. I told him that some of the best long-distance pigeons are bred in Belgium, and he then asked me if I would like to go with him to Belgium to select and advise him on buying a pair of pigeons, and which he did, and he finally paid, I think, something like £8,000 for a pair of babies.
He said he was maybe going for a holiday in Belgium. Well, it was some time lapsed by, a few months went by, and all of a sudden, round came Jonathan with a box, and inside it was 2 pigeons. And he said, well, I bought these 2 pigeons, Uncle. And he said, they're distance pigeons, long-distance pigeons, and they will do you well.
I try to help Uncle George with the training of the birds as well. As often as I can, I take them back to my house and liberate them so they can do the flight back to Uncle George's. Normally, it takes them just over 30 minutes. Although the plan is to have the birds ready for the Barcelona race in 2 years' time, we've been racing them already and we're quite pleased with the results. The latest was this, which is the prize for the Penzance race, which was won by Gus. That's about 280 miles, so we're quietly confident.
Yeah, well, just on the outside.
Yeah.
She's going well. She's got on the outside. Yeah, she's always seems to be the third one.
Is that Dumbo in the front?
Yeah, it's on the side.
I can never tell from this one. When I bought these two for George, I didn't think I'd get that actively involved, but here I am a year on, and, well, I am. I still turn up, I help out, I go to all the meetings. I suppose the appeal to me is that it's so different to anything else in my life. It's about as far away from the London media scene as you could possibly get. It's also, it's a bit like being a kid again. Some people like the horses or the dogs. For me and George, it's pigeons.
We left school because we were selling computer games and making quite a lot of money out of it.
Yeah, well, they're very mature in lots of ways. Probably a lot of it's got to do with their upbringing, the way we've lived in so many different parts of the world. Lived in Australia, then Holland, and living on a boat in France, in Canada. 6 years in Canada. Probably that's given them a sort of worldliness and maturity that has helped them to be successful in business.
After just a few years, our company is one of the best-selling computer games companies, and now we're competing with people like Robert Maxwell and Richard Branson.
Last week's tale, in True or False, was true.
As is patently obvious, probably, we're building the first embassy for extraterrestrials on Earth. We've been building it all morning, according to the directions of the man who claims to be their ambassador. His name is Raoul. Now, he's here to foster diplomatic links between Britain and the extraterrestrials to try and get this embassy some legitimate status. Now, in order to do this, he spent the morning making his first attempts to try and convince the British public that what he says is true. And in order to do this, we've had him speak to a skeptic, a total skeptic, for the last morning to see if he can convince him of anything that he believes. So, what do you think of his claims so far, Mike?
Well, they are indeed interesting, but I don't think they have any sort of connection with what I'm involved with.
OK, well, let's take, first of all, do you believe that UFOs come from space?
Not necessarily, no.
Well, strange you should say that, because there are people who've had similar experiences to Raoul, but not all of them have built movements around their experience. In fact, a lot of them have suffered a lot of ridicule because of this. One of these is ex-policeman Alan Godfrey. Now, Alan, what happened to you?
Well, very briefly, I was driving a police car along the main road in the early hours when I came across this object that was hovering above the ground, and I just sat there in total disbelief of what I was looking at.
And what happened afterwards?
Apparently, some time later, I went under hypnotic regression through a friend of mine called Harry Harris, and apparently I was abducted.
Abducted by these aliens?
Apparently so, under hypnotic regression, yeah.
What happened?
Apparently I was beamed aboard this craft and medically examined.
Medically examined. Well, now, you see, Mike, Alan has absolutely nothing to gain by that. It's, in fact, caused him a lot of hardship saying this. Does that not lend weight to Raoul's argument that these people could come from other planets?
It lends weight to Alan's claims, but not necessarily to Raoul's.
Really? No. OK. Well, we're going to leave you to continue the discussions and see if at the end of this, if you believe even part of what Raoul preaches. I don't think he's going to get on very well. However, our embassy is going very nicely. As you can see, people are busy working away. We'll be back in the last visit to find out what this looks like. Also, for a treat, we'll be finding out what one of these, or two of these aliens might look like if they recognize this embassy.
He went to the station about 200 miles away from Tokyo, and in the toilet of the station he hanged himself.
There are 22 million school students in Japan, and their exam success is the envy of the West. But the price they pay for such academic achievement is high. Last year, there were over 800 juvenile suicides. Why do you think he killed himself?
友達にすごくいじめられて、それが辛くて。
He was bullied by the friends, and he couldn't stand that any longer.
And what do Mieko's family feel about the school?
まずお兄ちゃんをいじめてた2人とその仲間。
Parents was really angry with the teacher in his class because the teacher knew the two boy was bullying him, but he didn't do anything about that, and the teacher even took part in the funeral.
Does she wish things in school could change?
ストレスとかが少なくなると思います。
If they want so many exams, the stress will be less.
fantasy place where they're so well known that you get so much money here.
It takes an e-ticket to go to Fantasyland, particularly if you want to do it as a career.
Oh man, I don't even believe I'm telling you because I never spoke to anyone about this.
Where am I? Who's that? Can you hear me? Who? Why can't I move? Why? What's happened? I don't... I can't. Who are you? My legs. I can't feel my legs. Where am I? Hospital? Oh, thank God. Hospital. I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be fine.
Today on Network 7, we invited 4 people into the studio and asked them to bring with them close friends from their social lives or from work. What these 4 people then said to them live on Network 7 half an hour ago was that they were gay. Since we did that piece, Channel 4 has been inundated with calls about the item. Some people saying, with our pre-recorded item, that we shouldn't have said leave magazines around the house and your parents will be shocked, that we should have allowed for some good parental reaction as well. But back here, there's also been quite a few shocks. Lisa, for example, came out to her friend Sonia, and Sonia came out to her friend Lisa at the same time. They were both gay. They've known each other for 2.5 years, and neither of them knew each other was gay. Why did you never tell each other before?
I don't know, you don't broadcast it around to everybody, do you? But we have today.
Well, in Devon as well, it's very closeted down there.
Yeah, it's not the sort of thing to do down there.
Yeah, it's nowhere to go or anything, and it's not sort of like in London.
It's
in London,
one
it's really
club.
easy. Yeah, it's one club. And we've both actually been there, but not at the same time, haven't it?
It's really funny. Now, what about the reactions of your other friends? Pam, 2 of your close friends have now come out as gay. How do you feel?
I'm not really surprised about Lisa, but it would have helped if she'd have told us, and then perhaps we could have gone out more and, you know...
So you wish Lisa had come out earlier, in fact?
Yeah, to us. Being as a friend, she could have told us, you know what I mean? So it's not such a big deal. She could have told us because my reaction, I'm not bothered, you know?
Fine. Now, Robert, you're actually Lisa's nephew, so your auntie is gay. How do you feel?
Well, I feel a bit annoyed that she's come out on the air to sort of show everyone that she's lesbian, and I had no idea what was going on at the time. But that, you know, if she wants to do that, that's fine.
Don't you think it's important for gay people to perhaps make a more public stand about themselves?
Straight people don't have to publicise that they're straight, do they? Now, why do lesbians or gays? Why do they have to stand up and show that?
OK, fine. Now, over here we had 3 other groups of people, all of whom have just heard that one of their friends is gay. Now, Darren here in particular was shocked at Susanna's revelation that she's a lesbian. Darren, how are you feeling now?
I just think it's terrible, basically. I just don't know why I wasn't told. And to be, you know, brought here just like this, to find out this was going on, yeah, I mean, I just don't approve, really.
Right, have your feelings changed towards Susanna?
Well, at the moment, I just can't really say what I'm thinking. It's just...
You can't take it in? Right, now over here, Paul came out to 2 friends, Tony and Donna. How does it feel to have come out, Paul?
I feel better because I can act the way I want to, you know, and I don't have to put on a show, pretend I'm going out with girls, and, you know, just act the way I want to and take them to clubs with me.
It feels better to be more honest?
Yeah, and they can meet my friends.
And what do you 2 both think? Donna?
It's not going to change our relationship in any way at all. It's nothing.
So you feel fine about it? Now over here, Richard came out to workmates Alicia and Christian. How do you feel about Richard coming out, Alicia?
I
doesn't make any difference to me at all. I think what he's done takes a lot of courage and great conviction, and I congratulate him.
Excellent. So good reactions on the whole there.
As this is the last body talk of the series, I want to tell you what I think about Network 7. Tell me, why are the presenters so tense and nervous? Is it because they think they're boring us and will switch off the channel? Or is it because they haven't got enough time to go into in-depth interviews? And what about environmental issues? Do you know about the ozone layer? If Network 7 covered it, you would. And then there's humour. Let's see Mandy Smith without her makeup for a change. It'll be much more fun. And let's drop Lee Bowery's sequence and see him naked. Wouldn't that be fun?
I really like Network 7, don't get me wrong. I just feel that a lot of the items jump from one extreme to the other. You'll have something on euthanasia or famine, and then it drops to something light-hearted and poppy, which I don't think structure too well. Talking of structure, in the next series, I reckon there should be a lot more emphasis on music, get some occasional pop videos into there. And also the camera angles. I mean, on a Sunday morning, you know, people have hangovers.
Network 7 is exciting and original. It certainly jolts you out of your Saturday night hangover. The credits run a bit too quickly, and that tends to detract from the original issues. Media program as such, it's very good, but it can be too mainstream and a little bit middle class. However, it's still, without doubt, Britain's best media program. True or false?
I think Network 7 should be a wacky programme. It shouldn't be so straight and perfect. It should be more crazy like last time. I thought it's not news, it's only gossip. So I think if it was more crazy, then a lot more people would watch it. Do you know what I mean?
Seniority system, as far as workers go, is something that really hits you, I think, when you come out here. Westerners maybe, especially nowadays, are more confronted with the, if you're better at a job, you maybe can surpass an older person. That is still not the case in Japan.
Depends on what type of jobs you do, you know. Editorial, I choose magazines and that. If you do one of those, you get in pocket, you get about 130 quid. But if you're doing things like catalogues and stuff like that, you can make about £1,000 a day, you know.
You realise there's a huge difference between how nice they are here and how rude we are. I always feel quite a big oaf next to the Japanese because they're so...
If you want to make money as a Westerner, I would say come out here, but initially you need a lot of money. You have to be able to live and look after yourself for at least 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and it costs about £150 a week here. That's just living expenses, and that's not really going out too much.
and that doesn't include rent either. So if you're going to come here, bring a lot of money.
I was really dubious about coming here to work in one of the clubs because I wasn't quite sure what it would be about. But the place where I work, it's fine. We just have to go in there, pour the drinks and light the cigarettes and act quite stupid, really, and take the mickey out of them, usually, as they get more and more drunk, the businessmen. But the worst of the people that come along to the clubs are usually the foreigners, the gaijins, because they think that you're prostitutes or something, and they try and ask how much you cost. So you have to try to explain to them that you're not, that you're just there and what you see is what you get and you're just talking. But we usually have quite a giggle there.
You don't feel there's any adverse effects on anybody? No, it didn't make you feel depressed?
Earlier on Network 7, we played you a track from this album. It's Judas Priest's Stained Class. The band are being sued for millions because it's claimed that the record you're hearing now made two teenagers go into a suicide pact. The reason, it's said, is that their song had deadly subliminal messages. We couldn't hear them, so we asked you to tell us whether you could. So if we just come over here to the phone lines, Claire's been answering the phone. Claire, if I could just ask you, what kind of things have people saying? Has anyone seen a message?
We've had one person who saw a message, and she said that she felt there was no point in living because we were going to die anyway.
That's the message she saw?
That was the message she
No one
felt,
else
yes.
heard a message?
No, most people rang in and said that they can't see any message at all.
Right, was there any reaction from the Christian
We had a lot of Christians ringing in and saying they liked it and saw no harm in it. A lot of Christians hated it, thought it was disgusting and should be banned. But most calls came from devoted heavy metal fans who'd been listening to it for years and said it did no harm to anybody and they loved it.
Okay, well, if we just come over here, in the corner is Tony. Tony featured earlier on Network 7. He was the witch who made a Devil's Mix song. He puts these messages into records, these subliminal messages. So you know something about this. Now, you listened to the record earlier on. Did you see anything in it?
It was deliciously dark, delightfully demonic. Is that what you mean?
What does that mean?
Well, yeah, I heard stuff. They haven't been as obvious about it as we have in the Devil Mix thing. But I did towards the end, over the guitar, I could hear something in the background. It's probably backward masking, but I think they've used a lot of stereophonic effects, which I haven't done in our single.
But what do you think? Do you think it could have influenced these teenagers who entered a suicide pact?
Suicide. Well, weak minds don't need much to convince them to kill themselves, do they? It didn't make me want to kill myself. I found it edifying in a nice, downwardly way. But I guess some people would kill themselves if they heard that, yeah.
Well, I mean, it all sounds quite clever, but the fact is a lot of callers are saying that it's basically a load of rubbish and doesn't mean anything. And
Sure.
that would apply to what you're doing as well, surely.
They think it's rubbish?
Yeah.
Well, buy the single and kill yourself is all I can say.
Well,
I mean...
you really think that's the kind of effect it might have? It sounds a bit flippant to say that.
No, I don't think it'll have that effect at all.
Well-
It should give them the same feeling it gives me. It's dark, it's good.
It's dark and it's good.
Yeah.
So you think people, when they listen to your music like that, are going to enjoy it and feel those kind of messages?
I think they probably are. Goodbye, camera.
Right, well, I'm not sure whether we're sure about that. It's a bit inconclusive, but it looks like most people are actually saying that it doesn't do anything at all.
that's a wrap.
Huh? California sunshine. California sunshine. Whoa, through the grapevine. Yeah, I heard it through the grapevine. That's sweet.
Could you say the difference between your relationship with your father and your mother? How are your relationships with them different?
Pop was always very much disciplinarian. I remember him literally marching into my room when I was 7, 8 years old and nailing a picture to the wall. It said, "Genius is attention to detail, Louis Pasteur." Okay, and Mom, she always had
was he quite a strict did he punish you?
Oh yeah, I was very much pushed to learn to read at an early age and to get involved in sports at an early age and, go for it.
And how would he, if you didn't do what he wanted, how would he punish you?
Oh, we used to have raging fights. He used to be very physical, and back and forth and a lot of noise and such. Not so much hit now that you look back on it. At the time, oh yeah, it seemed like Frank Bruno time, But no, it was just a lot of wrestling around. I was a very active kid.
So you'd fight back? Mm-hmm. And when you say you were a very active kid, you were one of these sorts of kids who'd be he'd be saying, "Now, come on, David, you do this," and you'd be kind of struggling with him.
Oh, yeah, they used to walk me around on a leash when we'd go off to the park, He'd put a little leash on my belt so I wouldn't run off. Because I was always very much, I like to observe.
Do you think that you're more like your mother or more like your father?
I think I'm a combination. Like I was trying to indicate, it's... I thought I knew where exactly it was coming from. I thought I knew where the source was. Oh, Mom did this, Pop did that. Now it turns out Mom's a little sterner now, and Pop is out, in the film trade.
Did they stay together?
No.
They got separated?
Yeah, when I was just before graduating out of high school, my parents got divorced.
Can you remember that?
Vividly.
When did you hear? Where were you when you heard?
Oh, I was aware that there was going to be a parting of the ways for years leading up to that. I'm sure some of it was based on my performance in school, what have you.
Really?
I was always a good student, but I was always rowdy in the playground. I was always having, my tribulations. This is a big time of racial upheaval as well in the United States, in the world. And 68, 69, they started integrational busing, and it was not all copacetic. Like, we didn't have the Michael Jacksons and the Princes as the great mediators, the great links,
And you were at school with a lot of racial groups who...
Oh, yeah.
But how could you blame yourself at all for your parents divorcing? That sounds...
Oh, anytime, what are we going to do with him? Well, we'll do this. No, that's the wrong thing. I disagree. It's like when you have...
Do you really believe that? You really believe that...
I'm sure I was partly responsible for that. But the chemistry between two people, you can't decipher exactly, what's causing what. But it's the kind of thing of, what are we going to do about this kid? Well, you got one path and another path.
But, children of divorcees very often do blame themselves, particularly when they're very small. But, of course, it can't be right. You couldn't have caused the breakup of your parents' marriage.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I said, I'll be specific, 7%.
If you had to go to a psychiatrist, suppose you had a problem, what would it be?
I wouldn't go to a psychiatrist. I think perhaps I'd be able to find it within myself. I find a lot of direction from books, from reading, and that ranges from Schopenhauer to Batman.
Supposing sort of things were going wrong in some aspect of your life or in some way, and you couldn't solve it yourself, and you decided to go and see a shrink. Say a friend of yours said, "There's a really good shrink here, go and see him." What do you think would be the problem that you'd be seeing the shrink for?
Probably not affiliating with a social group on any regular basis. Probably not becoming part of any real peer group. When I was a young child, they labeled that off hyperactive. I wasn't a participant with all the other kids on the playground. I was off reading something. I was off with Jack London in the Snows, or I was off, you know, so-and-so. Now they say I'm an overachiever.
When you were sort of thinking, what career shall I have, did you think, I will earn my crust by being a rock and roll star? Was it, I mean, how much did commerce motivate you as opposed to art?
I learned early on that if you really want to be an artist, you have to pursue it with a lot of discipline, and you really have to, hold on one sec. Y'all, if we can quit shuffling and moving around and the papers and stuff, let's stabilize.
Sure.
Where were we?
Okay. When you first went into the rock and roll business, did you think of it as a business? How much did you think it was, you know, that you had sort of deep feelings within yourself that you wanted to express, you know, which is what artists tend to think?
It's a combination. You can't express yourself if you're continually broke and you can't afford to get into a studio and you can't land a recording contract. And even if you do land one, unless there's some degree of rent paying involved in there, they're going to take your record contract away. You're not going to have anybody in your audiences, you know, and a lot of musicians will give you some hippie nonsense about, oh, I'd still be doing this if I was broke. Oh, I'd still be in little bars playing. Yeah, after you get off your day job, you'd be playing and pursuing your muse, but that's generally not the way most musicians really perceive it. What they tell you and how they perceive it is usually two different things. My parents always drilled it into me. It's not so much a question of success and, hey kid, how much money did you make at the end of the day, as it was, did you pursue it like a pro? Were you a trooper about it? Did you do your homework? Did you put your time in? Now, a lot of this sounds very opposite, antithetical to, oh, rock and roll, the idea of, you know, freedom, fantasy land. Here's a way to go stratospheric. Well, it takes an e-ticket to go to Fantasyland, particularly if you want to do it as a career.
What's an e-ticket?
Well, you have to, you got to pay for it in one way or another, and that's not always money. My best friends were books. My best friends were the radio, and the combination is, I guess, what we're creating here now.
introduction to something called the Club Deluxe, one of Hong Kong's foremost hostess joints.
And I win because I'm smarter than everybody, and I outsmart them all.
Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype.
Yes, was the start of my last jam, so here it is again, another Def Jam. But since I gave you all a little something that I knew you lacked, they still consider me a new jack. All the critics you can hang on my hold the rope, but they hope to the Pope and pray it ain't dope. The follower of Farrakhan, don't tell me that you understand until you hear the man. The book up the new school rap game, writers treat me like Coltrane, insane. Yes to them, but to me, I'm a different kind. We're brothers on the same mind, unblind, caught in the middle and not surrendering. I don't rhyme for the sake of riddling. Some claim that I'm a smuggler. Some say I never heard of ya. A rap burglar, false media. We don't need it, do we?
It's fake, that's what it be to you. Dig me? Yo, Terminator X, step up on the stand and show these people what time it is, boy. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype.
Mick Houghton, a pop PR who won't sell his soul for rock and roll.
You can see them all sitting around at a meeting saying, well, what are we going to do? How can we get this band? How can we get people to know about this band? So they just come up with some ridiculous stories.
Sultry, dusky, sexy Sunita. So where do those false stories come from?
It's kind of a combination. I mean, first I have a brilliant press agent as well, Connie Filippella, who's excellent and who's very inventive and clever and fun. And I think my record company as well. For us, it's more fun than the money and the businesses.
Give me an example of that.
Property, for example. We had a property thing where it was going to be great because I was going to be like this millionairess with property all over the world. As a result of that, I've had like the council on the phone wanting to repossess my flat, so that wasn't smart. I don't know. I mean, to a certain extent, I was sort of semi-responsible because they would sort of, be like wanting to promote me. And I could see that, it's like business. So it'd be like, okay, if it was something that was light-hearted, that wasn't going to be damaging, I'd sort of go along with things, okay, yeah, you can say that, and you can say this.
David G. Croft, TV producer who deals first-hand with the artists and their masters, the record companies.
Creative persuasion is what record company promotional managers are in the art of doing, and that is, they have an artist, they have to get that artist on television, and how are they going to get that artist on television? They must reach and grab the attention of a television producer, and they may do that by taking him to lunch, giving him free tickets to the concert of that artist, or even on occasion suggesting that producer be flown to some sunny clime to view the artist when in fact he could wait a week later and see them at a club in London.
13 valleys he has wandered for love.
Now, some good stories came back. I wonder if all of them were completely based in fact.
No, of course not. I mean, you can't expect the tabloids to work on facts all the time, can you? I mean, there was some wonderful fantasy stuff. I mean, one has to confess that there might be a slight element of exaggeration in the Russian poltergeist that we made up for the Sunday Sport, called Lepo, who appears at various sort of odd moments in the big country's dressing rooms. But I think that the overall publicity from this venture has been successful. I mean, it's focused attention on the band again. It's been widely publicised in TV, radio, and all the magazines, national newspapers.
Record companies will do all they can to control their artists' media exposure. Their one vulnerable area is on live television.
I read a report in a paper this week that said that you were going to make a film with Mel Gibson.
That's not true either.
Religion is something that we really don't like to discuss.
So that's no go?
No, we don't discuss religion.
Don't believe the hype. 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 Don't believe the hype.
Yes, was the start of my last jam, so here it is again, another Def Jam. But since I gave you all a little something that I knew you lacked, they still consider me a new jack.
Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype.
Last week on Network 7, we fact-checked Sunday Sport, the tabloid newspaper that brings us such sensational headlines as Hitler was a woman and Elvis is alive. This week, it's no exception. Their front page is Vampire's bizarre three-in-a-bed sex romp. It's all about Vincent Popley, who the Sport uncovered as Britain's first real-life vampire, and two other vampires that actually want to have a romp with the first vampire. With me, I've got Howard Soons, news editor of Sunday Sport. Howard, how do you really expect people to believe these stories?
Well, these vampires are absolutely genuine. They exist, and in fact, we've got them here today to prove it. You know, the real things.
Before we move on to that, last week you had a go at us for daring to question the accuracy of some of your super sensational scoops.
Yeah.
And in fact, on your TV page, you referred to us as Smart Alex and Twerps.
Yeah.
How thoroughly do you check your stories, Howard?
Well, obviously a lot more thoroughly than yourselves, because Sunday Sport manages to stand them up and get them in the paper.
Well,
whereas the gentleman from the Observer phoned a guy in Illinois when he was actually staying in the Rembrandt Hotel down the road.
OK, well, we're actually going to put Sunday Sport to the ultimate test again. They claim that today they're going to bring us living proof that the people they've written about in their front page, or Splash as it's known in the tabloid press, are here with us. They're going to prove that they do exist. Well, Vincent... Oh, my word. Not only is their story explosive, it happens to be true as well, because this is Vincent Popley. Vincent, when did you first realise you were a vampire?
Oh, many centuries ago.
And you are Damien, and you actually are the lady that has been seeking this man down. How did you first hear about him?
I heard from the Sunday Sport newspaper.
And you actually tried to get in touch with Vincent?
That's right, yes.
Well, don't you actually have a boyfriend?
Yes, I do, yes.
Well, so I believe your name is Damon.
Damon, yes.
Well, I mean, this is preposterous. What do you think of these two romping off together?
Vincent is a good lad, and I'm very pleased for Damien that she found him.
Oh, so you don't mind?
No.
Well, that is quite extraordinary.
It's an open marriage.
It's an open marriage.
It's an open coffin.
It's an open coffin as well. I mean, can I just ask you, what does your mother think about you being a vampire?
Nothing much.
I understand she's tried to get you certified.
Just about.
Well,
crucifixes don't work.
Well, I think this is quite absurd. I think we've had enough of this, because I think that Sunday Sport said it was going to be a three-in-a-bed sex romp. Today on Network 7, I'm afraid we've only got time for a two-in-a-coffin sex romp. That's an open and shut case there. We're going to leave them to do what most vampires normally do on a Sunday morning, and maybe in Series 3 we'll be back to see how they get on.
Named our research institute for Michael Jackson, not only because he's a superstar, but because he is a super social conscious person. Would you give this, please, to Michael Jackson for us? Will you give this to Reese? Do you miss Michael Jackson, Bubble? Oh, I bet you do.
Tour of the Far East continues at a wacky pace, and we're here in the evening in Hong Kong. to something called the Club Deluxe, one of Hong Kong's foremost hostess joints. Now, a hostess joint is where you can go and sit with any one of up to 800 girls and enjoy a drink and a chat for only $37 for every 15 minutes. Of course, you've got to bear in mind the $10 entrance charge, the $30 cover charge, the $280 corkage charge, and of course $150 if you want to take any of the girls out with you outside the club. And of course, what you do with the girls outside the club, I've got no idea about, and nor do they. From Network 7 television in London, and we've come to Hong Kong tonight, and we're looking at Hong Kong night.
Yeah, so anyway, you do the camera just to...
Well, the customer don't know whether you are doing which picture, right? I think the best time if you come in afternoon.
Because it's a very special place.
Well, but the thing is, you see, it's very sensitive place also to all the customers. Some of them are rich people, right? They don't want to have some troubles afterwards. Okay?
Treat me good, I'll do your tricks. Treat me mean, I'll get you fit. Love it, can I make?
Mystery surrounds the heavyweight champion of the world, Mike Tyson. But outside the ring, is he on the ropes? There's turmoil that could end his career. Barbara Walters, in a series of exclusive interviews, has the story. The champ on his troubled marriage.
They seemed an unlikely couple, and I asked what they had in common.
Our honesty, our sense of tradition. I loved his sense of humor. He was persistent. He was, for the first time, he came to claim me, and I like that.
Were you an unhappy kid?
Not unhappy, well, frustrated because I knew I had something and I had to let it out, you know what I mean? And you know what, I was in an institution like for bad kids, and Muhammad Ali came there one day, and I said, that's what I want to be. I want to be the champ of the world.
How long did you two know each other before you got married?
10 months.
What's it been like, this roller coaster?
It's been torture. It's been pure hell. It's been worse than anything I could possibly imagine. I'm not talking about once a week, I'm talking about every day. It's been some kind of battle, some kind of fight.
With whom?
With managers, with members of family, with just always trying to hold on to your dignity. It's something that I never thought I'd endure.
Are the fights with Mike, too?
Yes, the fights with him. Well, you know, the fights with him make me wonder why I'm going through the other fights, the other battles. You know,
what do I need this for?
Exactly.
Why do you love him?
Because he's smart, because he's gentle. He's got this incredibly gentle side, because Michael loves me more than anything in the world. I feel like he needs me, which I like. I like that.
Well, that's why I love her, because she really feels that she can protect me.
There was no prenuptial agreement.
We got married to be together forever, not to plan for divorce.
What do you think about what Robin's saying?
She's totally true. You know, and about a prenuptial agreement, I wouldn't know how to go about to ask her to sign it. If you're going to marry somebody, you trust them, and that's what marriage is all about, is being together for the rest of your life. For this stage of my life, I do have many millions. My wife would just have to ask for it, and she has every penny I have. If she wants it right now, she could leave right now. Take everything I have and just leave. She has the right to do that. She has the power to do that. She's still here. She tolerates my shit. And I love my wife.
Robin, some of the things that we've read, that he's hit you, that Mike has a very volatile temper. True?
extremely volatile temper. I think people see that about every 3 months. He's got a side to him that's scary. Michael is intimidating, to say the least. I think that there's a time when he cannot control his temper, and that's frightening.
Does he hit you?
He shakes, he pushes, he swings. He's not a bad guy. It happens for a reason, something that we're now working to control. With the type of disease that Michael has, he was a hyperactive child. It turned into something else. It's something that he's had for a very long time. It went untreated, therefore it got worse. It's something that the doctor says gets worse in your 20s.
Are you afraid that if he takes the medication that keeps him on a steadier keel, so he doesn't have these violent up and down, that maybe he won't fight as well?
It's not important. If I don't fight anymore again, if I never fought again, it doesn't matter, you know what I mean? Because the only thing that matters is my healthy and the healthiness of the people I love. I'm anti-drugs as it is. I mean, it's totally anti-drugs. I mean, just to take something to make me feel queasy or else just in pain.
What is your greatest fear now, Robin?
Probably that we won't make it.
Gonna win this battle?
Yeah. I usually come out on top, and I plan on coming out top again.
We've been finding out if Britain is ready for deregulated television and the sort of programs they already have on Italian and American television where ordinary people take their clothes off on live television. We've already found for ourselves 3 people willing to do that today, live on Network 7. But is that the kind of program you want to see? Well, you've been voting on our phone poll, and the results, surprise, surprise, 84% of you said yes, these people should take their clothes off right now.
So, you're going to take your clothes off. Are you sure? This is your last chance to say no.
Absolutely sure.
You're going to take them off?
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. What about all the people watching in the market and...
They've all got bodies as well,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, we
It's
hope.
nothing new.
What about your friends and family watching at home?
Hello.
Any last words?
No.
Okay, this is a taste of deregulated TV. This is what you wanted, the moment you've been waiting for. Get them off.
Can I hold anything for you?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Can we take your coat? Thank you.
Yes, a string vest. Most interesting, most interesting.
It's obviously rather cold out here.
Very popular DMs. Right.
Oh, have you seen that, Richard?
That's interesting. Can I take that? Oh, thermal underwear.
I prefer boxers myself, Richard. I prefer boxers.
And can I hold that for you?
Thank you, I'll have that.
Oh, that's most interesting, yeah. Ah.
Oh, the socks, I won't have those.
I don't know if I've seen that before.
Have you ever seen one like that, Richard?
No, certainly. Oh dear, I am sorry. I'm terribly sorry about that.
Do you think it was a nasty accident?
It could have been, couldn't it? A bit of trouble with buttons?
Well, it's a lovely lace camisole. I like that one. I'll just have that shirt. Well, there's a body for you.
This is Network 7's version of what the world's first alien embassy might look like when it's built. We've spent the morning building this embassy, hopefully like it would look in Jerusalem. This is the world's first alien embassy. We've spent the whole morning trying to build it in the fashion that Rael, the man who claims to be the aliens' ambassador, thinks this thing's going to look like. Now, it's not exactly perfect, but basically what we've tried to convey is the sensuousness that these aliens would prefer in the embassy if they arrive. The whole idea about this is that the aliens believe that if you develop your senses and titillate your senses, basically, you can develop your mind and intelligence. Now, they're going to deliver their message from an embassy like this when they come. What will it be?
Yes, exactly. And the message is fantastic. The message, I will try to resume in 1 minute what is their message. They came on this planet a very long time ago, and they create all life thanks to DNA and genetic combination. And the Bible is the oldest atheist book in the world. In the Bible, it's not written God, but in the original Bible, it's written Elohim. And Elohim meaning in Hebrew, those who came from the sky.
And did they create us?
They created on their image, and they created mankind, and they sent a lot of messengers. Among these messengers, in order to keep their message, there was Moses. You remember Moses contacted them on the moon Sinai. There was Jesus. Jesus was the son of one of these extraterrestrial and a man from the earth.
Am I right in asking that they're coming back to give us scientific knowledge and help us?
Yes, and also this time is very important. We are now in the apocalypse time. So it's very difficult to resume this message. They asked me to build an embassy. Yes. I explain this message in my book, The Message of the Extraterrestrial, and I will give a conference in London, Euston Road, Friend's House, in November the 16th.
Okay, now also, as well as this conference, we just did a quick pick of what these aliens might look like if they arrive. That's it there. Is that in any way accurate, Ryan?
It's a little bit true, yes, but it's difficult only speaking to make a good... It's not exactly that, but it's to give an idea.
Well, do you really think you'll be able to convince world governments that these aliens are going to come?
Of course, we have some good contacts, and what is important is to look at the sky and to try to understand the message.
Right, well, so far the aliens haven't arrived, so, or have they?
Don't call me stupid.
Oh, right! To call you stupid would be an insult to stupid people! I've known sheep that could outwit you. I've worn dresses with higher IQs, but you think you're an intellectual, don't you, ape?
Apes don't read philosophy.
Yes, they do, Otto. They just don't understand it. Now, let me correct you on a couple things, okay? Aristotle was not Belgian. The central message of Buddhism is not every man for himself. And the London Underground is not a political movement.
Oh, old son, I didn't know who came down here.
Victim of circumstance. You know how it is.
Would you care to join us?
Would you care to join us?
May I have the pleasure?
Be my guest.
Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
Will you have a drink with me, Dad?
No.
Have a drink with him, Tommy. Please.
I said no.
Tuppence. That's all I've got. But I wouldn't give you daylight.
Way back in the Middle Ages. A long, long way. We're the centre of refinement these days. Culture. We got more culture than a penicillin factory, ladies and gentlemen. Got a mental picture of that? If you don't believe me, just think of our beautiful table wines, yachtsmen, operas, films, crocodiles, macrame, cheese. Look, I'm chairman of the Australian Cheese Board, as a matter of fact, ladies and gentlemen. Funnily enough, I was sitting on the cheese board earlier today, and that can be uncomfortable. Those little flags get up here.